Founded in 1913, the Greater Carlisle Area Chamber of Commerce has drawn together generations of business leaders, sharing ideas, tackling the challenges of their day, and supporting a strong, growing community. Each generation lifted up the next, and all have a story to tell. Many of our friends recently gathered to look back on the Chamber's century of service with words of wisdom, warning, and wit for our next 100 years.
A strong, viable chamber in Carlisle is necessary because it is the leadership focal point for a town and a community.
It brings a lot of viability for tourism, for businesses that are coming and going in the area.
The table, the connector, the heart and soul of the business community.
That networks us, that helps us legislatively, as well as helping us solicit other businesses to come to the area.
The chamber is sometimes the first face, the first voice of the community when out-of-towners come in or people are coming here for business or possible relocation.
So many businesses are moving out and away from the smaller towns. The chamber here in Carlisle is special because it's provided a community of growth, a culture of growth, if you will.
It develops leadership. It brings the business industry together.
The mid-'80s to late 80s, my first time on the board, tenure on the board, the chamber here had some serious financial difficulties, and we really had evolved into more of a fundraising entity than anything else just to stay afloat. And we had two concerts. We had Peter, Paul, and Mary at Dickinson College, and we sold out the Klein Center, and we made lots of money. And this was wonderful, so we decided we should do this again. We booked the Smothers Brothers, had them at the Harrisburg Forum. We lost all the money that we made on Peter, Paul, and Mary, and then some. So we got out of the concert business.
We had a financial problem some years ago and worked our way through it, and was involved in starting Leadership Carlisle program that still exists today.
My father was president of the chamber and encouraged them to purchase the building that we're standing in. At that one time, they were up on West High Street at relatively inadequate kind of facility.
I got to know the lady that lived here, and I was able to talk with her, and she sold this building to the chamber, and they've been here ever since.
When we were still in this building, and it was the first renovation of this building, which really needed it. It was coming down around us and all that. It was just so glamorous afterwards. We were just thrilled.
During the year that I was chair, it was the year that Penn State wanted to move the law school up to State College, and the organizational meetings to fight that on behalf of the community happened right where we're standing.
In my era, which were pretty much the 90s into the early 2000s, one of the things that I'm very proud of is having brought Michelle Crowley on board.
You know, probably one of the most mundane things that you can think of in terms of volunteer work is strategic planning. I mean, gee whiz, who likes to strategically plan? But we went through a strategic planning process during my tenure that had everybody engaged, and everybody was participatory and really thoughtful in their deliberation around where it is we wanted the chamber to go and what we wanted it to be.
Chamber started in very humble times. You Google 1913 and it'll say the worst year ever. So we figured that Bill O'Brien certainly came into his role at Penn State during very challenging times. We thought it would be a great speaker to have a leadership comment or focus that talks about how you lead through difficult times, starting in really challenging times.
Well, I don't expect to be here for the next 100th anniversary, but I would say that the chamber right now has exceptional leadership. So I think the future of the Carlisle Chamber is very bright.
Try to keep Carlisle's identity in place, have thriving businesses, and to allow for communication amongst the businesses.
We continue to look for new avenues of watching the community, observing it, making it grow, and keeping it good and healthy.
Round two, do it better, and don't make the same mistakes. And always realize that each business is unique to the community, and we have to respect each one and try to provide resources for each one.
Get involved with younger people and not because the people here are old, but you always need some rookies coming in and getting their feet wet, because they're going to be the leaders of tomorrow.
Encourage businesses to become members and then take advantage of all the Chamber has to offer.
And don't be shy about stating your opinion or your needs or your wants for the Chamber to serve. A viable, active Chamber is only as good as the activity of its members. So get involved, stay engaged, and participate.
Well, I'm not really going to quote Winston Churchill and say, never give up, never give up, never give up, which was the shortest commencement speech that I've ever heard about. But I think it's very, very important to maintain that local connection.
I think they need to continue as they're doing today. They had some rough roads a few years ago, but I think they've turned it around, and I think things are looking much better for the Chamber today.
Go get them. It's important that the Chamber keeps growing. I think they're headed in the right direction, and they should keep doing more of what they're doing.
Keep up those nice socials that you have 3 or 4 times a year, which has gotten a great deal of young people there and diverse groups.
We have a great community, and if we have the Chamber as our leader, we are going to be very strong in the next 100 years. So congratulations, Chamber, on your 100th anniversary.